Warm greetings. Today is Monday, October 7th, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it is 7:15 a.m. local time in the state of Florida, where final preparations should be underway to face what is now a major hurricane, Hurricane Milton. It has been strengthening rapidly over the past 24 hours, and just a few minutes ago, a Hurricane Hunter aircraft confirmed that it has become a powerful Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour, 195 kilometers per hour. This dangerous hurricane threatens the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, as well as the state of Florida, particularly the counties in the central part of the Florida Peninsula. It could be especially catastrophic for the Tampa region and nearby cities. Therefore, it is crucial to stay tuned to updates this morning, as Hurricane Milton is stronger than initially forecasted, which could have significant long-term implications, potentially arriving stronger than anticipated, possibly as a Category 4 hurricane in Florida. On the other hand, and unfortunately, this system has maintained a trajectory with a slight southwesterly component, coming closer to the northern coast of the state of Yucatan. For this reason, a hurricane warning has been issued, including the city of Merida. It is important for residents of northern Yucatan to prepare for the impact of a hurricane. Although the strongest winds are expected to remain over the Gulf of Mexico, any shift in the trajectory further south could place them in a very dangerous position over the next 36 hours. Zooming in on the infrared satellite animation, you can see the structure of the powerful Hurricane Milton, which looks very impressive, especially because it has a very compact circulation center. This is precisely what has allowed it to strengthen explosively over the past 24 hours. Additionally, the Hurricane Hunter aircraft reports that the strongest winds are located in the southern quadrant of the hurricane, which is bad news for northern Yucatan, as it moves parallel to the coast. Hurricane force winds could impact the coast, along with a dangerous storm surge over the next 36 hours. In general, notice that specialized track models continue projecting an east-southeast movement over the next 24 hours. It will pass closest to the Yucatan Peninsula on Tuesday morning, perhaps as a powerful Category 4 hurricane, though we can't rule out the possibility of it reaching Category 5. This is due to last-minute information showing that it is stronger than initially forecasted. In fact, some intensity models over the next 24 hours suggest it could become a Category 5 hurricane. Therefore, it is important for residents of northern Yucatan and especially Florida to remain on alert and prepare for this hurricane's impact. For Yucatan, time is running short. They have approximately 12 to 18 hours to prepare, and by tonight, they should be in a safe place, especially if living along the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. For this reason, the Mexican government has issued a hurricane warning for northern Yucatan, meaning hurricane conditions are possible within the next 24 hours. After nearing the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in the early hours of Tuesday, the system is expected to take a more northeasterly turn and eventually make landfall somewhere along Florida's western coast. At the moment, it seems that landfall could occur between Sarasota and Tampa. Please see the following animation showing wind gust projections based on the GFS model. Some gusts between 100 and 120 kilometers per hour could affect coastal areas of Yucatan tonight and into Tuesday morning, despite the center of circulation remaining over the Gulf of Mexico and not making landfall. However, remember that the southern quadrant is very strong, and some outer bands could bring hurricane conditions. In terms of rainfall, the heaviest amounts should remain over the Gulf of Mexico, but keep in mind that any deviation southward could bring significant rainfall to northern Yucatan. Therefore, our friends in Mexico should continue monitoring updates and forecasts. After approaching Yucatan in approximately 3 days, during the night of Wednesday or early Thursday, the center of circulation is expected to reach Florida. We have a strong consensus that it will make landfall near or over Tampa Bay. Although we woke up this morning to the unfortunate news that it is strengthening faster than expected, there is hope that as it approaches Tampa, it may begin to weaken due to wind shear and dry air moving in from the west over the Gulf of Mexico. This is why intensity models show weakening after 48 hours, which is why the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center predicts that it will make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds between 115 and 120 miles per hour. However, remember that this forecast could change throughout the morning, as the system is stronger than previously anticipated. Nevertheless, whether it makes landfall as a Category 3 or 4 hurricane, the damage across these areas could be catastrophic. Zooming in on the projected track from the National Hurricane Center, the latest estimate places the center of circulation just north of Sarasota, but remember that the circulation is very broad. If it maintains this track as shown by the National Hurricane Center, hurricane force winds could affect cities like Sarasota, St. Petersburg, Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, Kissimmee, and Orlando. It is important that if you live in these counties, you pay attention to authorities, and if an evacuation order is issued, please follow it, especially if you live along the Tampa Bay coast, where a storm surge event not seen in over 100 years is expected. This is an extremely dangerous and potentially catastrophic situation for cities near Tampa. However, remember that the cone of uncertainty is quite wide. We're talking about the hurricane possibly making landfall as far south as Port Charlotte or just north of Tampa. We have different scenarios, but the most likely one is landfall near or over Tampa Bay. To explore different scenarios, let's look at the latest projections from global models. Starting with the American GFS model, its latest run shows the center of circulation making landfall over the city of Spring Hill, north of Tampa. This scenario would be the worst-case scenario in terms of storm surge, as winds would blow from the southwest over Tampa Bay, potentially causing a historic storm surge event of over 10 feet above average sea level. Even if the center moves further north, strong winds of over 110 miles per hour could still affect counties bordering Tampa Bay. In pink, we can see areas likely to experience hurricane-force winds that could affect a large part of the northern and central counties of Florida's peninsula. Additionally, in red, areas likely to experience tropical storm-force winds, which could affect areas as far south as Cape Coral and Port St. Lucie and as far north as Jacksonville. Of course, this depends on the GFS model's forecast. Under this scenario, maximum rainfall totals will range from 5 to 12 inches, particularly in north-central Florida, potentially causing serious flooding problems. If you live in a flood-prone area, you should move to a safer location. Another scenario is shown by the European model, which is almost exactly in line with the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. In this scenario, the center of circulation would make landfall over Tampa Bay and cross over Lakeland and Orlando, bringing hurricane-force winds to major cities like Orlando, Tampa, Kissimmee, and St. Petersburg. This is a serious situation, not only because of the storm surge that will affect western Florida but also due to the high risk of hurricane-force wind damage. The European model projects that it will arrive as a Category 3 hurricane with some wind gusts exceeding 120 miles per hour. In this scenario, the model also shows that maximum rainfall totals could fall over areas such as Orlando, Spring Hill, Tampa, and Lakeland, with totals reaching between 10 and 12 inches of rain. In red, we see areas expected to receive between 3 and 5 inches of rain. The flood risk extends from Key West and Miami all the way north to Jacksonville. In the next image, you can see storm surge projections for areas along Tampa Bay. We're anticipating surges of 8 to 12 feet above sea level in some places along Tampa Bay, and as far south as Charlotte, surges of 5 to 10 feet are expected. All areas marked in red could experience near-record levels of storm surge. If you live in flood-prone areas along the coast, please evacuate immediately. The most destructive and catastrophic winds could be recorded from Fort Myers to Tampa, especially in coastal counties including Sarasota. In pink, we see areas that could experience winds over 110 miles per hour. In red, counties that could experience winds between 74 and 110 miles per hour, and in orange, counties that could experience winds between 58 and 75 miles per hour. Well, that's it for this forecast update here on Hurricane Info. I am committed to keeping you informed over the next few days, not only for residents of Florida but also for residents of Yucatan. It's important to check if you're subscribed to my channel, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. I will be updating this forecast during the afternoon today. Please don't forget to share it with friends, family, and anyone along the path of this powerful hurricane. Take care.